Hey everyone, we're back for another workout of the day. Today is an AMRAP for 23 minutes, so that's as many rounds as possible for 23 minutes. Today's workout is called Lightning Bolt. So it is going to be 5 push presses, 30 bar jumps, 5 double presses, 30 double unders, or 60 single unders. And every time you complete that 3 times, you're going to do 10 V-ups. So we're gonna go through all of those movements and the modifications, and then you can get started. All right, so in this workout, there's 2 types of presses. We have the push press and we have the double press. So the first movement is going to be the push press. So a couple of things to keep in mind when you're doing the push press. You want your feet about hip width apart, toes slightly pointed outward. So we're gonna drive with our legs, and that's gonna help us bring the barbell up. If we're using a barbell, we'll go over other modifications as well. But when we come down into, we wanna come down into a quarter squat. So we're gonna essentially release our hips back and down, right? We're gonna bring our knees outward. So we're just coming straight up and down. We're not rocking back and forth. So if I'm coming down to that dip, you see I'm very stable. If I'm pointing my toes completely forward and I'm bending forward, you can see that my body is going to rock naturally, and I'm not aligning everything to support my whole body. So we want to be able to support the weight on our shoulders. So if we're not in line, our spine is not being supported by our legs. And so if we come down, everything is stacked nice on top of each other. So when we come into that quarter squat, we're going to come down and we're going to push as hard as we can up. And we're going to use that leg drive to drive the barbell up. And then we're going to finish with a press up overhead. So another important part, if you're using a barbell, you're going to have it in a front rack position. So you want the barbell resting on your shoulders. You don't want to be holding it in place. It's going to take away some of that drive up, and it's also going to prevent you from having a good, nice push, because your arms are going to already start to feel tired if you're holding it there. So all we're using our hands in this position is to just keep the barbell stable as we come down for that dip and drive. So we're going to dip down into that quarter squat, and we're going to push as hard as we can, and the barbell is going to naturally come up, and we're just going to finish it with a push overhead. And when we're up overhead, our arms are straight, our arms are by our ears. We're going to push our head through, just so that you're making sure that you're getting the barbell in a right position, because again, we want to be stacked on top of each other. So when we're up overhead, our arms are going to be supported by our shoulders, shoulder by our back, back by our legs, and so forth. So that's why we want to be nice and straight. So again, we're going to set up at the barbell. We are going to be about hip width apart with our feet. We're going to come and we're going to clean the barbell up overhead. Again, I'm not holding it with my hands. I am resting it on my shoulders. So I'm going to come down into that quarter squat, knees out, and I'm going to drive all the way up and finish with that push and drive. And again, everything is stacked on top of each other. We're going to come back down. And that is the push press with the barbell. If you don't have a barbell, that is okay. You can use a dumbbell. And so you're going to use a dumbbell 5 on each side. So again, everything is the same, except it's one hand right now. You're going to rest this part of the dumbbell on your shoulder, and you're going to come it down into that quarter squat and drive and push all the way up at the top. And again, we're going to switch arms 5 and 5. The other thing you can use is a plate. Again, same concept. Real quick with the barbell, when you're coming up, you want to get your head out of your face, out of the way. So we're going to kind of, when we come up, we're going to kind of push our head back. And as we clear our chin and face, that's when we're pushing our head forward and through. We do not want to push up and drive into that chin there. It sucks. I think we've all done it at some point. Okay, so last but not least, we have our band, and you can use different resistance, obviously. So foot under one end, and we're just gonna press up. We're not gonna worry about the drive up. We're just gonna do strict presses with the band and make sure everything is stabilized. And same thing when you're doing weights too. Make sure that core is nice and tight and stable, to make sure you're giving yourself complete support so you're not hurting your back or anything else. So again, we're just going to push up, and we'll do 5 on each side. So that's enough for the push presses. Now we're going to go to bar jumps. Now obviously, if you're using a barbell, we're just going to use the barbell for this. And it's 2 feet jump, 2-footed jump, I guess. And you want to try to do it fast over the barbell, 1 and 1. Hey, Maggie girl. We do not, you want to show? Come on. Good girl, good girl. That's Maggie's jump, right? Are you gonna go again, bud? Alright, more of a walkover for Maggie. We do not want to do our weird jazzercise type unicorn jump, as I like to call it. Again, it's 2 feet over the bar at the same time. If you're using a dumbbell, you can do the same thing with the dumbbell. You can just jump over. If you don't have a dumbbell and you're using the band, just do lateral jumps side to side. Yes, Maggie loves jumping, doesn't she? All right, so the next one is going to be our second press. This is our double press, and it is kind of as bad as it sounds. But it's a burpee combined with sort of a kettlebell movement into a press overhead. So I'm going to do it sideways first, and then I'll do it facing you, and then I'll show you some modifications. So I'm going to have the 2 dumbbells set up so that they are going to be about shoulder width apart. So you're going to come down, you're going to jump out till you're completely straight, do that push up, back up, and you want to jump in as close as you can. You want to bring your butt down, back straight, facing forward, and then you're going to swing the dumbbells up. Now again, the important part with this is making sure you are nice and tight. You don't want to be rounded when you bring those dumbbells up. We want core tight, back straight. We want to make sure we're using those legs to help us drive the dumbbells up, overhead, and we want to make sure we're completely straight overhead when we reach the top. Now you can do it with one dumbbell as a modification, so you just be switching back and forth. So you come down and just swing up overhead. And I did say I would face forward, so let me show you facing forward. Push up, come up, and swing, and nice and overhead. So modifications, you can just do burpees. You can use the dumbbells and just do up downs without the push-up. Those are pretty much the modifications. Or you can do a burpee and then do a push overhead. Okay, so the next movement is going to be our double unders, and I'm not going to demo jump roping, but basically a double under is twice under your feet before landing. It's a nice flip of the wrist, or you can do 60 single unders, which is just a regular jump rope, or if you don't have a jump rope, not ready to jump rope, you can do jumping taps. And that is for that. So now that's the workout, but every time you complete that 3 times, you're going to do 10 V-ups. Do you want to help me with the V-ups, Max? So with the V-ups, again, we want to come up nice and straight. Really think about engaging the core here. Modifications, knees alternating, or taps. So that is the workout. Again, it's 23 minutes, as many rounds as possible. Don't forget to do your